1.4 billion. That's how much this country spends on Captain Power energy bars and their kin every year. Heck, if you look around, it seems like every briefcase, gym bag, purse, and backpack has become home to these edible tribbles. And why not? I mean, they possess the convenience of a candy bar, and although they often contain just as much sugar and fat as your favorite candy bar, they sometimes manage to pack in some pretty high-end nutrition. Sometimes they don't even taste like sawdust. But still, they're all a little too mysterious for my liking. They're also willing to be helpful. They want to help us play more, lift more, work more, run more, and somehow mysteriously, I don't know, lose weight more, but at a price. They are very expensive. The answer? Make your own. Heck, with a little nutritional know-how and the right ingredients, we can beat old Captain Power at his very own game. And not only create energy bars that are good for you, but are seriously Although energy bars might appear to be modern marvels, mankind has been seeking out compact nutrition sources for centuries. For instance, back in the Middle Ages, no well-equipped crusader left the castle without a dense fruitcake called pan-forte, packed with honey, grains, nuts, and dried fruit. Pan-forte was the most calorie-laden food of its day, and it delivered vitamins, minerals, and energy, and enough fiber to keep the most noble knight a regular guy. Then there was pemmican. The Cree Indians taught early American frontiersmen like Alexander Mackenzie how to pound dried deer and buffalo meat with fat, bone marrow, and dried berries, and then to sew up the whole thing in a rawhide sack sealed with tallow. Sounds pretty gross, but the resulting bar, called pemmican after the Cree word for fat, gave Mackenzie the strength to become the first European to cross the North American continent from coast to coast back in 1793. Pretty impressive. Hundreds of bars designed to deliver quick energy were unleashed on the public. These candy bars were indeed loaded with calories, but no one really thought to add, good nutrition until 1975 when Nestle's hired an inventor to concoct a healthy, easy-to-carry, tasty bar for the me generation. The result? The granola bar. Want to make one? Okay, we'll get to that. First, let's take a moment to consider a few nutritional matters. The universe of energy bars is often classified according to the percentages of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins that they contain. Ever wonder what these things do? Well, carbohydrates include sugars and starches from the plant world. Simple sugars are made up of either one or two molecules, and once ingested, they move quickly into the bloodstream, where they are literally burned up in the power plant of your metabolism. Now, this is very, very good news if you are running a marathon, chopping wood, or lifting weights. If, however, you are simply lifting the remote control, this isn't so good. That's because when excess glucose doesn't get used up by your body, your pancreas sends out insulin to neutralize it. That means in a couple of hours, you're going to have a glucose deficiency, which your body is going to counter with the hormone adrenaline. And adrenaline is just going to make you feel nasty, cranky, and muddy-headed. What's more, excess carbs easily convert to fat. In case of starvation, would you cut it out? Speaking of fats, they are extremely efficient when it comes to storing energy. A whopping 9 calories per gram, in fact, which means if my calculations are correct, I have the same potential energy as a small thermonuclear device. But luckily, fats do serve a purpose other than just keeping me from seeing my shoes. Without fats, your body cannot utilize fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, or K, nor can it maintain healthy organs or cell membranes. Fats also supply fuel for your muscles when no carbs are available. Oh, and here's another crucial fat fact. Fats are composed of fatty acids, some of which are required for human life, which is why they're called essential fatty acids. So if you're fat, don't blame fats, because they're good. With the exception of fat, water, and the minerals that make up your skeleton, most of the body is made from protein. 3/4 of your dry weight, in fact, is muscle, nails, hair, skin, stuff that has to be renewed and renovated every now and then, lest you simply fall apart. Now, proteins are made out of tiny building blocks called amino acids. 20 different amino acids are required by the body for human life. Now, a healthy body can manufacture 11 of these, but the remaining 9 have to be imported from the outside world, or the whole system falls apart. Now, the challenge is in finding protein sources that provide all 9 of these essential amino acids. Decidedly old school, granola bars still deliver a satisfying crunch combined with a considerable nutritional punch that stems mostly from this tasty payload. 8 ounces, it's approximately 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. Now, when it comes to eating oatmeal, I'm not a huge fan of rolled oats, but when it comes to making granola products, they're the only way to go. Here we have 1.5 ounces of raw sunflower seeds, 3 ounces of sliced almonds, and 1.5 ounces of wheat germ, all measured by weight, of course. Now, a word about wheat germ. You've got to remember that it is the actual embryo of the kernel, and like an egg yolk, it contains most of the fat and vitamins that the kernel has to offer. Since most of the fats inside of it are unsaturated, this stuff will go rancid if it's left out at room temperature, so always keep it tightly sealed and in your chill chest at all times. There. Although they are loaded with complex carbohydrates and proteins, vitamins and minerals and whatnot, these nuts and grains aren't exactly packed with flavor yet. Just as a plain piece of white bread becomes something completely different when toasted, 15 minutes at 350 degrees will change everything. Just make sure that you stir them about every 5 minutes. And after this point, of course, you might want to use a spoon or spatula. While our nuts and grains combo gently toasts, we will prepare the binder. Place a medium saucepan over medium heat and add 6 ounces of honey, 1 3/4 ounces dark brown sugar, 1 ounce of unsalted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Just stir that until the sugar has completely dissolved. Then add your freshly toasted oat mixture, and just to up the soluble fiber, not to mention the flavor, add 6.5 ounces of chopped dry fruit mix. Apricots, cherries, cranberries, blueberries, the choice is yours. When the mixture is completely mixed and no more liquid seems apparent, move that into a well-oiled 9x9 baking dish. Then oil the bottom of another baking dish or pan and use that to tamp down the top of the granola so that it's nice and even. There. Park in the middle of your 300-degree oven for 25 minutes. Stored thusly, these will keep for 2 to 3 weeks in your cupboard. Now, let us take just a few moments to consider nutritional information on this device. I think you're going to be surprised that this nice big block only contains 193 kilocalories. A kilocalorie is what you and I usually call a calorie, only a little bit more precise. We've got 30.52 grams of carbohydrates, 4.5 grams of protein, 6.8 grams of fat, 3.66 grams of fiber, and only 61.28 milligrams of sodium. That means that this little bar is as good, if not better, than most of the commercial granola bars on the market. And as far as sodium goes, well, let's just put it this way. This thing's got 160 milligrams. That's just too high. Best of all, this thing cost about, oh, I don't know, 5 cents to make. You do the math.
One of the most popular new bar categories is the protein bar, favored by bodybuilders looking to add some muscle tissue and followers of the low-carb cult, whose bodies have been tricked into burning fats and proteins as major energy sources rather than carbohydrates. Most manufacturers seem to be having a tough time making high-protein bars taste like anything other than, I don't know, potting soil. Although I do have to admit that the Captain Power Protein Puck Pack doesn't taste too bad. Of course, there are a few ingredients on here that I'm not that familiar with. Maybe it's time to consult with an expert in such matters.